Hello, people of the internet. My name is Howard, bringing you the latest and greatest content each and every day. Today is Scientific Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time to learn something new about science. This week, I'll be going into sleep and why it's so important. If any of you guys are like me, you often wonder why we even need sleep, and think that it's just a waste of 8 hours of your life each and every day. I often think of how much more I could get done in those 8 hours or so daily. But scientifically, that's impossible since sleep is so vital. Sleep, obviously, plays a vital role in good health and well-being throughout your life. Getting good enough sleep quality can help preserve one's mental health, physical health, quality of daily life, and overall safety and alertness. Despite what you may think, sleep doesn't actually give the body much energy in and of itself. In other words, it doesn't quite give the body time to recover from that day's work, since it only saves about 50 kilocalories, which is the same thing as 50 calories on any nutrition fact that you may see on different types of foods, which is equivalent to eating a piece of toast. The reason sleep is so necessary, however, is because it is so significant in brain development. So, before we see what we actually get out of sleep, let's just briefly see what happens if we don't sleep. After pulling an all-nighter, for instance, you are far more likely to be grumpy, groggy, irritable, and forgetful. This causes concentration to become difficult and for attention spans to get cut severely, which was the topic of my last video on Friday. Lack of sleep at night can lead to emotional, physical, and neurological disorders, such as increased blood pressure, stress, increased risk of kidney disease and heart disease, as well as sleep apnea. Now, let's go into what happens during sleep and why we need it. As we sleep, a number of processes occur, such as a rebalancing of hormones. This hormone rebalancing actually allows our bodies to regulate levels of hormones, such as ghrelin, a hormone that makes you feel hungry, and leptin, a hormone that makes you feel full. Lack of sleep actually causes ghrelin levels to increase, which is directly tied to the problem of obesity in today's society. Also, sleep prepares your brain for the next day, since it gives your brain time to form new pathways to help you learn and remember information you learned that day. That's why it's best to study things like vocabulary right before you sleep, so that it can actually stick with you for the next day as your brain makes these reconnections and new pathways of information. Overall, sleep helps you pay attention, make decisions, and it actually allows you to be far more creative. But now, you're probably wondering how this happens, and what is actually occurring as you sleep each night. Sleep is actually comprised of continuous 90 to 110 minute cycles of non-REM and REM sleep. Non-REM sleep, is actually made of 4 substages. The first of these 4 is light sleep. During light sleep, we are half asleep and half awake. And during this time, muscle activity actually slows down. During this period, though, we are easily awakened since we are, as I just said, half awake and half asleep. The second stage is true sleep, which occurs within 10 minutes of falling asleep and lasts for about 20, which is actually the longest stage out of any of the different stages of sleep. During this stage, breathing and heart rate slow down. The third and fourth stages are deep sleep, and they only minorly differ from each other. During stage 3, your breathing and heart rates are at their lowest rates due to the fact that the brain begins to produce delta waves, which are high amplitude, low frequency waves. Stage 4 continues from this point and is characterized by rhythmic breathing and limited muscle activity. If we are awakened during this stage, then this is when we feel super tired and groggy, as many of you probably do before school when you wake up super early. REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement, is a period which usually first begins about 70 to 90 minutes after we first fall asleep. As a result, we usually have anywhere between 3 to 5 of these each and every night, since, as I said, sleep is actually a cycle. During this period of sleep, our brain is far more active than even when we are awake. During this stage, our breathing and blood pressure increase as our eyes dart around, hence the name rapid eye movement. This is also when dreams usually occur. So, tonight, when you're dreaming about different things, fantasizing about different things, you're most definitely in your REM cycle. Or in your REM period, rather. After this period, the cycle repeats. So, if you guys have learned anything so far, I hope it's that all-nighters are not ideal, due to the fact that your brain won't retain any of the information that you might try to cram in before a big test, since without sleep, we are far more forgetful and inattentive, causing learning and testing skills to elude us when we need them most. If you need to ace a test, just put down the coffee and get in bed. It'll do you far more good. Thanks. I hope you learned a little something about sleep today. If you enjoyed it, a like and sub would be much appreciated. And as always, don't go changing.